Alright. So the last time you seen the Argo, we had put all the bearings and shafts on, all the chains, we got the tires on, and we built this new seat bracket. So the only thing we have left to do now is we also rebuilt those brake calipers and master cylinders. So now, as long as we got the brakes bled up, we can start installing the top half of the body. Engine's bolted down. We got a new hose on our blower motor. So if you look down in there, this blower motor goes down to the brakes and cools them off because you are steering with the brakes. There's a lot of heat in this area, you know, and you want to keep those brakes cool because when you get heated up brakes, you get brake fade. So I went down to Wally World, and this is sewage pipe for an RV. It's got a 2 and I think it's 3/4 inch diameter. So I got an exhaust adapter because this is 3-inch outside diameter. Use a 3-inch coupler, put an exhaust that goes from 3-inch to 2.5, 3-inch to 2.5, and it runs to this piece of tube down there. And this bolts to the upper half of the body like this and vents, pulls air in from the side and blows across those brakes. So that's pretty neat how Argo done that. So we've already bled the right hand side brakes. All we've done is we went and got dot 5. That's what this takes. The higher the dot number, there's dot 3, 4, 5, and now there's 5.1 when they have to do that. But this is $30 for this bottle. Crazy expensive, but it handles a lot of heat. The higher the dot number, the more heat it can handle. And I went on Amazon and bought brand new brake lines. These are not for an Argo. I just found some pit bike front brake lines that was really short. I think those are like 14 inches long, and they was perfect. And of course, everything will be linked down below. So this is what I'm gonna do. I've just put fluid in this reservoir. This line's empty. We put brand new crush washers on these banjo fittings. What I'm gonna do is break loose the bleeder. So this is a 10 millimeter wrench. We have that loose. Now, I'm gonna leave this lid off, and every time I push it, I'm just gonna do that, put my finger over it, let it suck back, push it again, hold my finger, push it, hold my finger. And that's gonna help purge all that air. You can see that's already. So now that we got a good amount of fluid coming out of there, there's still some air in here, but we'll deal with that in a second. These bleeders are different than any type of bleeder I've ever seen. These bleeders have a small ball bearing inside there, and the bleeder has a concave on it, and the brake master cylinder or caliper inside has a little concave spot, little valley for it to set in. When you tighten down that bleeder screw, it tightens up on that little ball bearing. One of them was missing. I probably dropped it, didn't realize it had that in it. So what I did was took a 5/8 Go Power Sports bearing that was bad. I just changed the jack shaft bearings in a 40 series torque converter, busted the bearing apart, popped the bearing out, bam, it worked. So we replaced our bearing for free. So now we're gonna top this off one more time with our super expensive gold juice. Oh gosh. I'll top that off, put the cap on, and then we should have brakes. We'll need to bleed it one more time just to make sure we get any leftover air. I love it, but this is so quick to bleed also because it's super short lines. You know, if this was a go-kart with a 60-inch brake line, you wouldn't have done it that easy. Yeah, I can't move that. So, and you're braking right at the differential. So you got to think with this setup, you have even more braking power than you would on a traditional go-kart with just at the axle because it's geared down by the time it gets up here. So this is way more brake leverage than you'd ever get at your tire. So that's the good thing about these Argo brakes as well. And it has these little stops right there that'll hold your handles up. They work all right, but yeah, it's not the best thing I've ever seen. Oh well. So our brakes are done. So me and Miss Redbeard now can put the top half of the shell on, and we should be riding this thing by tomorrow. Be pretty cool. So we have a brand new twist throttle. This from Go Power Sports. It's like what you use on any dirt bike, mini bike, go kart with a motorcycle handlebars. We got a Mikuni throttle cable. We don't necessarily need a Mikuni, but that's what we have. And we got some Pro Grip grips from Go Power Sports. This is their more like premium grips, a real soft touch. I like these a lot, especially when you're riding a long time on a mini bike or dirt bike. Those rough ones wear your hands out, so these are nice. I already pulled the screws out of this. We're gonna put our throttle cable in. That's what we're gonna do first. So when you do these twist grips, you drop that piece of plastic out. You go ahead and slide your throttle on. I always thread this in. This we're not gonna need adjustment like we would if we was putting this on a mini bike. You know, you gotta get that fine-tuned adjustment. We're gonna put this almost all the way down, pretty much. Then we push out the cable like that, or we can hook it in that little eyelet. Then if you notice, this grip has this flat spot here. That's the catch on this. So we're going to install this like so. So now I can pull the excess cable out. And put this top half on. And we have installed our throttle cable in our new twist throttle. So I'm just going to loosely screw these in to keep everything together. You don't want to tighten them up because then it won't slide on the handlebars. So how do I do this here? About like that. Now I can tighten her down. And a lot of times I'll take some PB Multi-Max, something, some lubricating fluid, and put inside of here because it'll keep that working all smooth, because that plastic will eventually wear some and can start getting like a little clogged up. Oh yeah, super lubed. Oh, these things are super soft. That is nice. The normal way I put grips on is with an air compressor. Alright, so we have this little hole down here that holds the throttle housing, and then it runs over to this little eyelet here, and this holds the body of the throttle cable down, the black sheathing, and then the cable can slide freely and pull on this. Once we tighten up this Phillips head screw, you know, this throttle eyelet goes through there. But this had a lot larger housing on the original cable, and since we're using the aftermarket one, we're gonna have to remove this, and I have one of these off of a Predator 212 or a 420cc Predator from like Harbor Freight. These are the throttle hold downs on them, and they'll work on these smaller cable housings. So I'm gonna remove this real quick. Okay, that's down there now. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of scope out where I want this. We're just gonna snug that for now. Now I got a Phillips head and a 10mm wrench. We can slide that throttle eyelet through there, and then I can hold this with my wrench and tighten this screw up, which bites down into the cable. So once I get this tightened up, get that good and tight. Go ahead and tighten this up after making sure we have this set where we want it. look at it and see. Right there, tighten it.
Oh, what a catch. For the win.
You gonna turn it on?
Yeah. Look good though.
Dang, dude, I bet it's bright.
Your best welds are always going to be when you prep them. Albert Einstein. No, not Albert Einstein. Get that out of my face.
I didn't know if you were gonna say something else.
So on these seats we use 1/8 inch thick of steel, some 8-inch pieces. But the only thing I worry about on these front ones is if you hit this enough, it can end up bending this, could split your wood. Oh gosh. I took some 1.5 inch tubing. That's what this is all out. All this is 1.5 inch, 14 gauge. So pretty thin stuff, not too thin. It'd protect you. So I notched it and then I slant cut it. And how I did that was I notched it, laid the piece up here and eyeballed, drew it, then cut it off. Then I capped it off with a piece of 1/8 inch or piece of 14 gauge, and I just fusion welded it. You know, so fusion welds when you use no filler, you don't have to use your rod. You just sit there and bop, 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 beep, boop, boop. So I got 2 of those made. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take it. I got a mark at 1.5 inches. I use my penis to mark that. So we got those laid in, and what that's going to do is just give it support. If you know some big daddy like me gets in there and just wada like a papa sitting in his recliner at the end of the day, it'll just protect it from ever being bent. I think it's pretty cool. Adds a little touch of fanciness. So let's weld it. Kick on that small bottle there, baby girl. Alright, now we got our seat stoppers. I can weld this, and that was the last piece of what we need to get done so we can pull this off and weld it. Well, I lied. I'm going to mount this back light bar. But other than that, that's just drilling 2 holes. So really, I could go ahead and pull it off. So it's raining today, so we're not going to be able to paint this till Monday. So I'll get everything welded out, this thing removed, because we got 12 1/2 inch bolts holding this puppy onto the body. So she's going to be super strong. And get it ready to bid her new home at Finnegan's. Alright, so I'm drilling some holes in this roll cage to run some wire through the roll cage. So the wire light bar will be back here. The wire will run in, come out right here, and go into the body. Same for the front. It just makes it look a lot cleaner. So we're drilling, putting some good old Harbor Freight grommets in there. May have to go up a step or so. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. This wire was a little bit of a booger getting through this roll cage. Probably about that much. Look at that, real nice. Enough space so water can get in and just rust the far out of it. I'll silicone around this too. Now I got to get in here to pull out this wire and start feeding it towards the front.
I got my front.
Slap the level on it, Peppa.
Nah.
I got you.
Yes, it looks level.
Under the sun.
Do you need me or you got it?
Right there. Alright guys, so the Argo is completely finished for the most part. My aunt is wrapping the seats, and we picked a pretty funny fabric for the seats, some fake leather. But Argo turned out great. I'm in love with it. I've already rode it around a little bit. So the next episode you're going to see on the Argo is me and Lonnie ripping it through the woods and just having fun on our property. And then we're going to do one more video after that where we take it out on our buddy's pond and see if she floats. We did buy some bilge pumps that I didn't get installed. 2 of these little bilge pumps from Amazon. I don't know if I'm going to get them installed or I might just give them to Finnegan for him to do. But it's going to be super fun. Also, Brad Hill gave us a 6-horse Chrysler that you're seeing on screen right now. Thing is ultra awesome old school boat motor. So we do have to build a bracket to install that on the back of the Argo. They do sell a bracket, but it's way overpriced for, you know, something we can make real quick. So yeah, next video you'll see us riding this thing around. Lights are all super bright, and you'll see the exhaust that I built for it too in the next episode. So Argo is almost done. It's a huge chapter gone in Redbeard's garage. This thing's been sitting outside in the weeds for 1.5 years, so it's awesome to see it put back together. Real quick, one thing I wanted to do was get the overspray off. If you guys know any way to get overspray off ABS plastic, let me know. I've tried everything from brake cleaner, acetone, I've tried goo off, I've tried a lot of stuff. I don't know, someone did got overspray on it when they built the original roll cage. So let us know if you know. But Finnegan's going to have a good time on this, so make sure to stay tuned for the collaboration with Finnegan's Garage. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to take it out and have some fun and hopefully not sink it. That would be the best. But guys, as always, make sure to check out the links in the video description. We got all the bearings for this thing from Go Power Sports. So if you have an Argo and you need to find a better replacement bearing, make sure to contact Go Power Sports. They'll probably be able to get you in touch with some bearings, because if you buy them from the Argo dealerships, they're crazy expensive, like $40 a piece. And I think Go Power Sports could probably do you a better deal. So if you're ever looking for weird parts like that, give them a shout. They'll help you find them. And we also got the twist throttle, the throttle cable, a bunch of other little odds and ends linked down below. So make sure to check those out. Go Power Sports, bunch of sweethearts. But make sure to stay tuned for the next video where me and Lonnie rip this thing around and act like idiots on it. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us. We're almost to 300,000 subscribers, and that's because you guys watching the videos, sharing them, liking our content, and we appreciate it more than you'll ever know. So thank you guys so much. We love you, and God bless.